Today, I want to explore some possible reasons why people quit going to the gym, specifically people who follow strength training and powerlifting routines. I have to start out by saying the biggest reason people quit going to the gym is a worldwide pandemic that forces gyms to shut down. Haha, got it. Touche. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who are so passionate about lifting weights. They show up every day they're supposed to. They follow their program to a T. They record all their sets. They hire a coach. They sign up for a meet. They buy squat shoes, knee sleeves, wrist straps, lifting belt, gym attire, singlet. They are all in. And then one day you notice they're not at the gym at their normal time. They haven't posted an Instagram lifting video in a while. And just like that, you never hear from them again. As a gym owner, I've seen this happen countless times. Whatever happened to so-and-so? Are they still paying for a membership? And it's not just Untamed Strength gym members, but also some of my friends, family, and just people that I follow on Instagram. One day their whole life revolves around lifting weights, and then suddenly they just stop. I have a few theories about why this happens to some people. Number one, they chase the title of powerlifter. Number two, they focus too much on one thing. Number three, they're too worried about optimal. And number four, they're not seeing results. Before I go on, some people try barbell training and just realize they're not crazy about lifting weights. They try it out and realize it's not for them. They'd rather go to spin class, run, ride their bike, go on hikes, whatever. That's totally fine, but again, I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about people who clearly love lifting weights, right? Every Instagram post is them in the gym. They spend a bunch of money on equipment, competitions, traveling, gym membership. They follow top lifters on social media. They change their Instagram name to Alan lifts, Alan 90 kg, Alan ultimate strength, Adam beast mode in the gym, Paul. And then suddenly they quit. I know people who have went to national and world championships only to quit cold turkey a few months later. And it makes me wonder, what is that all about? Here are some trends that I've noticed with these types of people. Number one, they chase the title powerlifter. They start out casually going to the gym doing too much cardio, and then one day they learn about powerlifting. They might see a powerlifter on Instagram and think, I want to be like that person. And so they decide to find a powerlifting gym and go all in. They pay for a program or a coach, they sign up for a meet, and now it's time for competition prep. They compete in a few meets and everything's going well until one day powerlifting just becomes too much for them. Maybe they experience an injury or a setback that makes competition prep nearly impossible. They get a new job that doesn't let them take time off for traveling and competing. They start school and they can't devote enough training time to adequately prepare for their powerlifting meet. They have a baby, they're starting a family, and decide that it's not a good time to prep for a meet. Or more relevant to 2020, meets are canceled. Something prevents them from competing, and they come to the conclusion that I can't prep for this meet, so what's the point of going to the gym? It's an all or nothing mentality. I can't train for this meet, so I'm not going to train at all. I can't compete this year, so I'm not going to train at all. And I'm not making this stuff up. People have canceled their memberships at Untamed Strength and said, I'm starting school, so I'm not competing until next year. I broke my wrist, so I can't compete for who knows how long. I'm expecting a baby, so training's got to be put on hold. Now, I just say okay and wish them luck. I'm not going to intervene. But I do think to myself, come on, I mean, you can't train in some capacity. Do you really always have to be training for a powerlifting meet? It's almost as if without powerlifting, they're completely lost in the gym. I think about when I started lifting. I just loved lifting weights. I loved being in the gym. I loved the feeling of being tired after a workout. I liked pushing myself. I liked turning my headphones up and putting all my focus into the present moment. I didn't learn about powerlifting until years after I was already lifting weights. And if I was ever unable to powerlift, I'd still be in the gym training just as hard because I like lifting weights first and foremost. Powerlifting will always be second to that. I'm in the gym because I like lifting weights, not because I'm a powerlifter and that's what I have to do. And this slight shift in perspective makes training feel like a privilege to me, not a chore. I'm not saying that people shouldn't identify as powerlifters. For some, powerlifting is the reason they started lifting weights and it's what's keeping them going. That's awesome. I'm just warning you to be aware of the all or nothing mentality that some people have. And I think this is a reason why powerlifters burn out. You don't always need to be in competition prep. and training in some capacity, no matter what you're doing in the gym, is always better than not training at all. I think for most people, lifting weights should come first, powerlifting second. And as I say this, I'm reminded of something that Greg Nuckols said in a podcast with Barbell Medicine. He says something like, the people that I see who just start lifting weights and they're still around a few years later are usually people who start off with a dumb training program that they just enjoy doing. They enjoy doing it with their bros. And that's why they're in the gym. Over time, they learn better through the process of just lifting weights. And this kind of speaks to new lifters to warn them not to worry too much about being super specific. It's not important for longevity. And being hyper specific could result in burnout. It's just speculation, but it's something to think about. Next, some people put way too much emphasis on one thing. This powerlifting meet is the most important thing in my life. This program is the most important thing in my life. This PR or this total is the most important thing in my life. They build up this one thing into something so big, and once it's unattainable or it fails, they give up. A lifter might be in meet prep and they experience an injury or a setback that affects training. They can't prep for this meet, so they give up. This meet was the most important thing in their life. Now they can't do it. What's the point? I give up. A lifter puts all of their faith in this program and it doesn't work, and they think, something must be wrong with me, I quit. The only thing that matters is adding 5 pounds to the bar, and I failed to do it. What now? Maybe I just don't want it as bad as I thought. A lot of lifters realize their best numbers or their best total is behind them. So what's the point of training if I'm never going to be better than I was? I used to squat 600 pounds. I don't want to go to the gym and struggle with 350 pounds. Lifting weights is just something that I used to do. These types of people put all their eggs in one basket. They burn the candle at both ends. And it's ironic to me that in their tunnel vision, hyper-focused pursuit to achieve something, they end up becoming fragile. They fail to do this one thing so many times that they end up quitting. Now, I think being focused, setting goals, and caring about something is totally normal and healthy. But if things don't go as planned, when life throws you a curveball, be resilient. Your PR total when you're 30 years old is not going to matter when you're 60 years old. But what will matter is whether or not you continue training in your 30s, 40s, and 50s. Next, some lifters are way too focused on optimal. People will often ask me, I want to combine powerlifting and strongman training. Can I do that? I like lifting heavy weights, but I also really like running. I heard you can't serve two masters. Is that true? I like doing front squats more than back squats. Can I just do front squats? My answer is always yes, do whatever you want. When we look at the big picture, if lifting weights and training is something you plan on doing for the rest of your life, it should be something you enjoy doing. For general population, optimal training routines should be easy to comply with. It should be something you actually like doing. I'm not saying that lifting weights is going to be the most enjoyable part of your day every day for the rest of your life, but it shouldn't always be viewed as a chore or punishment. Now, if you're training for a powerlifting meet, strongman competition, nationals, or you're chasing a total or a PR like a 400-pound squat, there are certainly better and worse ways to train for these goals. But for the majority of us who are just going to the gym to look better, feel better, and get stronger, we don't need to overanalyze things in an effort to make sure everything is optimal. You're not being paid for this, so don't stress yourself out about it. If you love doing front squats, do it. If you hate doing overhead press, don't do it. If you like getting a sick pump, pump on. The next reason people quit going to the gym, they are putting in the effort and not receiving enough in return. They're clocking in the hours and putting in the reps, but unfortunately, they aren't getting much stronger. They aren't gaining any noticeable muscle. They aren't losing weight. The person in the mirror doesn't look much different. This is a tough one because I don't have a great answer. I would encourage you to just keep going. Don't worry about where you'll be in 6, 8, or 10 weeks. Know that you will be a different person in 6, 8, 10 years. Doing all the small tasks like going to the gym, doing your reps, making dietary changes, and continuing to be active will benefit you. If not right now, it definitely will at some point. I've met people who have expressed their frustration in their lack of progress. They'll say, I haven't really gotten any stronger in the past 5 years. In fact, I'm heavier now than I was 5 years ago. What gives? And to that I say, well, imagine where you'd be now if you'd been doing nothing for the past 5 years. Stay focused on the process, not the end result. Focus on small victories like, I said I was going to go to the gym 4 times this week, and I did. I set an alarm for this morning because I needed to go to the gym, and I did. I wasn't feeling super strong today, but I finished my workout anyway. I didn't miss a training session all month, and I'm happy about that. These are all small wins that will add up, that will build you up. Thanks for listening, and always remember, tread on time.